Hey, Cole here. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to do something that's really important for these people in the recruiting and staffing space. And that is really helping you guys to create a solution that allows you to consistently get out in front of companies that are actively hiring, then finding who you should get out in front of within that company. Usually, there's always a handful of people you should talk to in terms of key decision makers. Personalize and enrich that data of said person, and then provide all the structure for then going and doing the outreach and doing this on an automated basis. And in here, what we essentially are going to have by the end of it is a complete solution that allows you to do this every single day, 24/7, allowing you to basically save you hours of time that I know recruiting and staffing agencies are typically having to do, because you have to go to the job boards themselves to go and find who's applying or looking for business, or looking for people to be have their roles filled, so to speak. And so, a lot of your time is either focused on generating clients or finding the right talent or candidates for the roles. And so, what this one's going to focus on is helping you find clients that need your services. So, in here, what I've gone through and done is I've curated a whole solution. And what this first one here is going to do is it's going to pull the job data, going to then find the target decision makers in said company. We're then going to add that information to our, we'll call it a CRM system. Really, we're using Google Sheets in this example, but it works fine as a most basic solution. We then personalize our outreach data, and then we send it over to our email validation tool to go through and validate the email. Once the email's been found, we're going to go through and then enrich it, ensure it's get pushed into our outreach campaign. So let me show the whole thing really quick, and I'll just so you can see the whole system. It's going through, it's running, it's finding the personalized data. We then are running this module to make sure if that data goes through. We already have added this information here, but as you see, let me move this over here. If you go to jobs, you'll see here's the job that we were looking to fill, or the company, the job that they're looking to fill, the location, all the general detail that we've gathered from it, right? Then we've pulled, I did this twice, my bad. I pulled the person, one of the many people that we could get out in front of, and their information. Then we're going to go over to outreach. Delete this one. And you'll see that we have their full name. We've added their email. We've also added in an outreach flow of who we want to get in front of. And then you can see here's their email, first name, last name, and then the information that we would be using to get out in front of them. Okay, so how do we go through and do this? Well, what I want to actually say first is I won't have to bore you with the entire process of how do you add all of these modules in this example, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this blueprint for you to use. And so I'm going to walk you through how each step works and talk about some of the nuances. So if you need to make any adjustments, you're able to do just that. Okay, so how this basically works is I'm able to go through, export the blueprint, save the blueprint. And then if on your end, you want to go through and add this to your system or your Make account, super simple. You go to create a new scenario. We're going to then hit these three dots. We're going to import the blueprint, choose the file. You're going to choose the file. It won't be named this. It'll be named something else. And then we're going to hit save. And there you go. And so you'll have to do this twice. Super easy to do. And then you'll just make sure a few things have been set up. And then once you're done, you'll be able to hit run and you'll be off to the races. Okay. So in this system, what we have here, I'm going to get rid of this one, leave. So in this system, we use a handful of tools. We use one tool called Phantom Buster. We use, that's what this one is. I'll have links for all of these, by the way, in the comments below. This one is Instantly. Obviously, we use Google Sheets, and then we also go through and use Make. Now, an additional one is a platform called Email Finder. You can use any email finding system, but you just follow along with the same process, right? So how this works is we have to first get the Phantom that we've generated. So let me show you how that works here. We have a phantom in here, and what it is we've gone to, I'm gonna actually delete this one so you can see how that's set up. We're gonna go, and this is your process of what you'll follow. You'll go here, browse phantoms, search job, LinkedIn job scraper, sign the LinkedIn cookie data, and you're gonna put the URL. What I've done for this example video is one specific thing, and you'll see we get the URL of it, but I've put in IT consultant, United States, last 24 hours. It's a remote roles only, and they need to make over 100K or offering over 100K. And so this way we know that the role is pretty consistently new, and they're not paying a small amount. So if we're going to get a percentage of the salaried fee, we know that we're not going to be getting pennies, right, for the work. So we have this search. We then add it here. We then go through and hit save. We're able to pull 10 a day. Not a lot, but it's enough, especially if you're just looking to get a couple clients each month, right? So you can build the system each day. It's then going to run and pull 10 active roles that are in the space. You hit save. This is fine for now. You hit save, and then you'll go through and you'll have the full system. So we'll end up having it, and it'll look just like this one here. And so what we come back over to is we're here. We then need to find the name of that position or the phantom, which is in this example, LinkedIn consultant job scraper. We're then going to make a request to the system. And I've already imported this. So when you guys go to import it, this will already be done for you. But I'm essentially pulling the specific folder of this output, because if you go to that specific phantom, you go to more, you go to results, you'll get a specific set of IDs, and you'll get this output, something like this, right? And so what we're doing is every day that we're running this, we want it to go through, pull all of those results and present us with that data. We then are going to then parse the data so it's nice and clean and easy to review. We're then going to check our Google Sheet, right? If that role's already been added. If it's not already been added, we're going to then add it in. And then we're going to go through, update that data as stated. Then we have another thing that we're going to go through and do. So you want to do a second phantom. And that second phantom is going to be focused on generating the company contact data. And so we have a second one, similar structure. We're just looking at the company contact data enrichment. And that's going to go from Sales Nav. We're then going to look for, where are you? Scroll up. Actually, we're just going to do LinkedIn. We want to go through here and find the one that is based on a company. So that one's a similar one. LinkedIn companies export. Here we go. We want to use this phantom. So what we're going to do then is, instead of my lists, we're going to use my phantom. We already have the phantom that we want to use, which is the specific job search one, right? So every time that runs, then this is going to run. Company URL is fine. Hit save. Save. We can, it doesn't matter. We can search as much as we want. We can narrow down the specific positions if we want, or we can just hit save. And then this doesn't matter for this instance because it's going to be ran using the search, right, or through make automation. We can discard this one since we already have one existing. And that's going to be this company data enrichment. So in here, you'll see that we've pulled a variety of potential contacts that we can get out in front of, specific to NextPath Career Partners, which has that role, right? So here we are. We have that phantom. We're now getting that phantom that we were just talking about. We're then doing the same thing that we did at the very beginning, which we're going to then pull the results, right? And here you'll see we've actually pulled all of the data. And here's the cleaner version, right? So we have Rosa for this first bundle. We have each bundle is going to be processed individually. and you see their data, the first name, last name, all this stuff is different for each one. That stuff then gets pushed in to our Google Sheet under target contact. So if you go to target contact, you'll see we've put in all said information, all gets nice and up to date. And then if everything's good, right? If that profile doesn't already exist in the system, we go through, add that data, make sure it's added in there, all nice and pretty. Now we get to the really fun part. We're going to be leveraging OpenAI. In this example, we're going to use ChatGPT's 4o mini system. Super efficient, super cost effective, can be done for pennies on the dollar. And we want to walk through and have the following setup. Well, with the system, we always want to give it a nice intro. You're a helpful and intelligent writing assistant. This helps to pre-prompt it and provide it with structure of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why. We then want to give it detail of what it's trying to do for us. So it's taking in the data that we're giving it, and then it's going to provide an output in JSON. Why do we want JSON? Well, JSON is valid for important for many use cases. However, the best one is that Make really loves how the JSON data is formatted. So we're able to parse and play with it in many different ways. So it just gives us data that's now tangible and moldable as needed. So in here, we have a JSON example. Now, you don't have to worry about how this is because, I've sort of already put all this data structure together. But in this example, you'll see what we're going through and doing is training the AI on a few examples. So we're saying, hey, here's all the unique data we want to give in and an example of it. So full name, first name, here's their full name, here's their first name, company name, so on and so forth. And that's under the user, right? That would be us putting it in. And then here's an example output of what I want AI to provide me. And then we go through and do the same thing again. And here's a similar piece, right? Just changing it up a little bit, giving it some variability. And then when we're ready, we're going to go through and say, hey, I need you now to use the actual data of who we're looking to get in front of, right? Rosa in this example. And here's all of the extra details we want to push in. And by doing this, we now are allowing it to use the most accurate information, allowing us to customize based on the job description, the post's URL, the feed, like what job are they looking to fill specifically, and what's the context of the person we're actually talking to, right? So then we take that output, we cleaned it up, right? Because this is not the full email, but this is an example of how it's like an intro into your email, which is arguably the most important. Because if they hit your subject line and then they don't read your first line or they don't feel engaged with your first line, then none of the rest of the text matters. So we want to have the best introductory statement possible. We then go through and add that data into our Google Sheet here. So it's all nice and up to date for us. And then we're going to go through and push the data into our in-email system. Now, I am going to go through and rotate the API here, but what you're going to go through and do is you'll see webhook URL. All you want to do here in this instance, when you go through and import both of these, you're going to have this in your second automation, a webhook. And all we want to go through and do is when you have to go and create that webhook, we're going to copy the URL it gives you and paste it here at the very end of this request. What that allows us to do is, assuming you get a positive result, you're then going to push all of said data into this automation. And what it allows us to do is only if an email is valid, is it going to essentially go through the whole system, pushing a person into your campaign. So here it is. It's a very simple example. You'll hit add, here's your example name, right? And as you see here, it gave me this email. So you'll just copy this address, come here, and you'll paste it into this section, right? So we're going to change this out because we want this one. So now we're going to go through and check our Google search rows, or our Google Sheet, saying, hey, is this person already added to the system? If they are, great. If that profile URL matches, let's just go through and update some data, right? We want to go through, update the email, and we want to put in the email that is right here. We want to push that email to the user. There we go. And then we can hit OK. And then same thing with the following. We're just gonna double check these, make sure everything's nice and pretty. See, a couple of things got a little bit weird and screwy. I'm gonna save and fix that. We're gonna go and diagnose that issue real quick. That's going to be right here. And so we have job data, icebreaker, profile URL, image URL, first name, last name, company name. And these are all the JSON data pieces that we're pushing in. We have company name. I'm just gonna push that in one more time, just like that. Yeah, everything seems to be accurate. So we're gonna have this, we're gonna hit OK. Then we're gonna move this down. We're gonna save it one more time. We're gonna save both of these. And so we're already honestly almost to the end, and I'm gonna show you guys a few other things of what can be done. But we're gonna go through here. I'm gonna delete this example, just so you guys see the whole system running in action again. Delete the row, delete the row. And I'll even share a link to this Excel sheet so you have a example that you can connect, make sure everything's connected to. So again, this is clear all the way through. We have this specific search. Our system's going to run through. We're going to hit run once. It's going to go through. Boom, we've gone through, added the data. Let's check this. I want to make it look a little bit prettier. View count, roles, application. Let's do the same thing for this one. First name, detail. Yep, look at that. It's all good. And initial details have been added here. This is interesting. Oh, you know what's happening? I bet you data got pushed over just one section. So we're going to go through now. We're going to refresh it. I bet you that was what it was. There we go. We're going to fix this right now. There we go. So you see, I forgot to update this. So we're going to just fix all these real quick. So you might have some weird instances like this, and I'm going to quickly show you how you can remedy these situations. So we're just going to go here. Now we got the data. We're going to just update. Boom. I want to go description. Wherever it is. Title description. Summary. Industry. Location. Company name. Company ID. URL. Company location. Added to campaign. We're going to, that one's fine. That we can leave that. And then we can hit OK. So there we go. That will fix that. We're going to run this one more time just to make sure it's nice and clean for you all. Run. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. And there we go. All of that's going through just fine. Okay, now we're going to go here to the webhook. We're going to use existing data. We're going to push it through. And let's reload. Boom, there we go. We have everything ready to go. Now, if you want to go through and use this, all you have to do is go to your campaigns. We're going to go now and curate a new sequence. And then we just go down to enrich. Actually, no, we go to here. We're going to use our variables, our personalization. And then I'm just going to hit preview, right? So here's a quick example, right? So you have your initial preview of how that AI automation, this AI outreach is already sort of thrown into this. And then it gives us the opportunity to maybe add so much more to our our structures for getting out in front of potential businesses. There it is. And so, of course, if we want to go through and add to this, we can just add whatever extra we'd like. And here's another quick preview, right? So, and then when you're ready, you can hit save and then resume campaign. All right, guys, I hope this has been helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, I'm going to put the access to the JSON exports of these automations in the comments down below, as well as links to any of these tools and systems that we'll be using within the video today. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. I look forward to helping you guys out. And I'll see you guys in another video. And I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks.